That evening, Simpson and his associates dined at a restaurant. Michel McClinton secretly recorded their conversations. Walter Alexander later testified the recordings were to protect McClinton and himself in case Simpson blamed them for bringing guns.
Mr. Simpson says, I never saw a gun, and asked the other gentleman in the room, did anybody have a gun? And at that time, everybody on those tapes said no.
Back at the Palace Station, the police arrived at room 1203.
This was a crime scene. Tom Riccio told me, my recorder was in there. I knew I had to get it.
Even when the police arrived, I think up to 3 hours later, it was still recording. And those were the recordings of the police making derogatory comments about Mr. Simpson, saying if California can't do it, we'll get him.
You're just picking on him because you're mad about the murder. Yep. Man, you know, it'd be great to just see that guy's face when he actually pays for something that he does.
There was fingerprint powder all over the ceilings, everywhere. I had a little digital recorder up on the armoire. I'm like, man, the cops, they got it. And the guy goes, get your stuff and get out. He turns for less than 30 seconds. I reach up, and I had the recorder in my pocket. And I'm like, cha-ching, I had it, you know?
The following day, Las Vegas police questioned OJ in his hotel room. He was not taken into custody.
Given Mr. Simpson's previous history, I think that maybe the police wanted to make sure that they had all of their ducks lined up in a row prior to arresting him. I think they probably wanted to make sure that they had it right.
2 days after the heist, Simpson attended the wedding of his friend Tom Scotto, who knew about OJ's bungled sting operation.
He stood up as my best man and just enjoyed himself. Wasn't worried, wasn't scared.
But police began arresting OJ's associates.
The victims in this also knew who had robbed them, OJ Simpson. So tracking down his accomplices was not that difficult for police.
Detectives apprehended Simpson's associate, Walter Alexander, at the Las Vegas airport.
And they take them downtown, and he started calling names and addresses.
According to the police report, detectives obtained a search warrant for the home of alleged accomplice Michel McClinton. Authorities found 2 guns that matched the description of the ones reportedly used during the heist.
OJ's plan actually would have worked if he didn't have the guys with guns. You'd never hear of this if he'd have stuck to his plan.
On September 16, 2007, 3 days after the confrontation in the hotel room, Simpson once again dominated the headlines.
I called OJ and I said, OJ, what is this? What's with an armed robbery? You're involved in an armed robbery? He said, no, I'm not. And while I was talking to him, there was a knock on his hotel room door and the police came to arrest him.
On September 19, 2007, OJ Simpson was arraigned in a Las Vegas courtroom, charged with 12 felony counts, including armed robbery and kidnapping.
The former football star pleaded not guilty on charges of kidnapping.
It was like a freight train coming at OJ. It didn't matter if OJ had tickets proving that he was in Paris when this happened. He was going down.
After Simpson's arrest, Tom Riccio tried to sell his audio recordings of the botched heist to a celebrity gossip website.
At that point, we decided, you know what, let's release the tape and see what we can get for it.
Tom Riccio calls TMZ and says, I have the tapes from the OJ Simpson robbery in Las Vegas.
I wanted $2 million. TMZ says, no, I'm giving you $150,000. I decided to take the $150,000.
I think Riccio set it up to make money by making a tape and selling it, which he certainly did.
Riccio pocketed the money, and now the entire world heard what happened in that Las Vegas hotel room.
I'm sure that more than one person had a bright idea of how to make a buck from OJ's situation. And Thomas Riccio's the one who did it.
A year later, Simpson faced a judge and jury. It was not going to be another trial of the century, but the potential consequences for Simpson were severe.
When you take a look at the people that were involved in this crime, it's a band of misfits with colorful pasts. So it's easy to look at this robbery and kind of scoff or laugh, but this was an extremely serious crime.
They charged everything that they could think of in this case.
Mr. Simpson was charged with conspiracy to commit a crime, conspiracy to commit kidnapping, conspiracy to commit robbery, robbery with a deadly weapon for both victims, kidnapping with a deadly weapon for both victims, and then coercion with a deadly weapon for both victims. In the state of Nevada, you cannot use force to recover any property. When you use force to recover property, it's a robbery.